Good evening, everyone. It is a drizzly Thanksgiving here in Metro Atlanta, and I just got home from, a Thanksgiving gathering with my family, and I'm out for a walk. So I saw a couple salamanders at my cousin's house, actually, but it was too dark to do video, and I didn't have my flashlight. It was kind of like right at dusk, so didn't get any video, but hopefully we'll be able to find a few things out on the road tonight, so we'll see. Well, I've done almost a full pass, and this little guy right here is the first salamander of the night. It's not as wet as I was hoping it was going to be. We might need to wait for it to rain a little bit more, but hopefully that's a good sign. There will be a little more stuff out. I'm going to get a picture of him real quick. This is our typical little yearling or so juvenile, not quite full-grown, four-toed salamander. Tend to be one of the more common salamanders on this stretch, so if stuff ends up moving in decent numbers tonight, I'm sure we will see plenty more. Very tiny little guy. Another one. Four-toed salamander number 2. That's kind of odd. We see these all the time in West Texas, but very rarely do I see big centipedes in Georgia. I mean, he's not terribly big, only a couple inches long, but still, kind of weird. Not sure I've ever just hiked one of those up out here before. But anyways, it's not as wet as I would like it to be, but it's also a good balance because it's not getting my phone and camera soaked. I can actually walk around and take pictures and video without having to worry about my stuff getting wet. So I kind of like these intermittent rain nights, even if they're not as productive numbers-wise. They're a little bit better for photography and videos. All right, guys, well, I only saw a couple four-toads. I think I saw one more that I didn't record. But I'm heading back up because, as you can see, there's still some dry patches on my driveway. The forest isn't really saturated yet, and that's when the salamanders will really come out. So I'm going to go back up and let it rain a little bit longer. And we'll come back in an hour or so and see how it's looking. I expect that once it gets nice and saturated, all these dry patches are wet, the trees are wet, and all the leaves are wet, the salamanders will start to come out in better numbers. All right, that's a good drizzle now. Let's go back out and see what we can turn up. Yeah, we got a good steady drizzle now, so I expect we'll be seeing a few more salamanders than we did last trip. And right off the bat, we have a little four-toed. This is actually an adult. I thought this was a little one, but that is an adult without a tail. That's so weird looking. Oh, that's cool. I'm gonna get a picture of this guy, actually. So if you've been watching my videos for a while now, I've talked about this before, but these guys are super prone to dropping their tails. And the weird thing about it is, you can see he's regrowing it pretty nicely already. But the weird thing about it is they have this like super defined pinch point. Like you can see his tail kind of pinches there at the end. They look like that even when they have their tail intact. And I think they can almost, it seems like they can almost eject them at will, but I've never actually seen one do it. Like you have things like skinks and even some other salamanders and glass lizards will actually drop their tails pretty easily. But considering how often we see these guys with no tails, I don't think I've ever actually seen one do it. Normally when you pick them up to move them off the road, they're pretty chill and pretty relaxed. They don't really freak out on you. So it's kind of strange that you see so many of them without tails, and you see, like, every once in a while we'll just be walking along and there will be a tail in the road and no salamander with it. So maybe there's something we don't understand about how that works. Something that only the actual predators are getting to see, which is kind of interesting to think about, but really cool. I'm going to move this guy off the road. All right, here's our next salamander of the night. This is a little marbled salamander. Got some really nice speckling on this guy, and actually got a joined band right there. Almost got a half of a stripe. Really good looking little marbled. Let's get him out of the road. There's some kind of frog up there, but right here, oh, there she goes, is a nice big adult female marbled salamander. Look at that. Very handsome. Let's go see what this frog is real quick. Looks like a gray tree. Oh, there's a four-toed right there. Yep, that is a gray tree frog. Cope's gray tree frog. I came back to this thing because it's super nice. That is a really good looking marbled. Check that out. I love how the edges of their body and their feet kind of look like they almost have that same kind of ethereal glow to them that the spotted salamander eggs do when they're in the vernal pool. Very cool. Here's a really nice little two-line salamander as our next find. Look at that guy. I know we see tons of these guys, but for some reason the ones right around the house seem to be really cool looking to me. They get a little wonky look to them. And he's got some nice big cirri. Look at that. I'm guessing he's probably hot on the trail of a female, so we're going to put him across the road in the direction he's heading and hope that that is the correct direction. And our next find is the first little spring peeper of the night. Kind of surprised we haven't seen more of these guys already, but nice looking little frog. We'll get him out of the road real quick. All right, what have we got here? Another four-toed. A likely suspect. Pretty nice looking. He's got a little bit of gray coloration on him. And here is another peeper. This guy's got a little bit bolder coloration on him. Very cool. Let's see if we can get him to jump. Boop. All right, that's a marbled up there, I think, but here is a little four-toed. And then, oh no, that's a spotted. Nice. Our first spotted salamander of the night. There's a couple things up there, but I wanted to make sure we get this girl out of the road first because she is very, very pregnant. Look at that. Gigantic gravid female upland chorus frog. All right, what else was there? That is a millipede. Yeah, it's a millipede. And that's a slug. That is a slug. But this is another spring peeper. He's really weird looking. Looks like a cinnamon strudel or something. Look at that. We are definitely getting into four-toed season. I think these have definitely been the most common salamander of the night so far. Not many doubles yet, really. It's just been mostly four-toads, and I think we've seen two marbleds. I love watching these guys walk. They're so deliberate. Here's a little male upland chorus frog. You can kind of see the variation. These guys are super variable. No two really look alike. A lot of the time their pattern doesn't come through very well because their color changes so much with their environment. When it's really cold, they're a lot darker. And then when it's warmer, they're lighter. So this guy is excessively small. Look at that. Really good color on him though. It's a pretty little salamander. Yet another four-toed. All right, saw someone hop. Looks like there's two frogs right here, at least. Oh, it's a little peeper. And this is another little peeper. Very nice. There's another one. Definitely the most common salamander tonight. And I'm still pretty sure we're a couple weeks away from their peak breeding migration, because most of these are little juveniles or yearlings. Haven't seen any that looked like mature adults aside from that one without a tail. All right, what we got here? Oh, that's an adult. Look at that thing. That's a big female four-toed salamander. Look at that. Very nice. She is looking plump and ready to breed. You can see that pinch I was talking about right there. It's super obvious, really strange. Very cool salamanders. And there is another big female upland chorus frog. Look at that. She is also plump. Very nice. Out of the road with you. You have business to attend to. All right, we got a couple manders. First up, another big four-toed. It's crazy when you see the big adults, just how small most of the ones we find are. And then we have you. What are you? Spotted? It's a dead four-toed. Indeed. Very low spot addition. Very nice. Look at those pores on the tail. That is so weird looking. Very cool. Only the second one of these tonight. These guys were the dominant salamander moving last time we got out. About, I guess, probably around a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago now. It's actually been a minute since I've seen anything. I'm starting my second pass now. And here is another big four-toed. 3 big ones back to back. 2 of which were in a stretch that we hadn't hit yet, but this guy's back in the area where we were seeing all the little ones earlier, so kind of interesting that the big ones are starting to move later. Don't know if there's anything to that or not, but always nice to see. Looks like there's maybe some more stuff up here. Oh, here's another. Wow, look at that little guy. He's glowing. He is very orange. Another little spring peeper. This one's actually a juvenile. So a little bit of news while I'm just walking along. Tomorrow I'm leaving for the Sandhills again. I'm going to do another camping weekend down there. And this time I'm going to spend more time herping and less time in the tree stand. So, oh, I got a hopper up there. But anyways, I was thinking about making this its own video just because it'll flow better that way. And I know there's a lot of people that really like the salamander walking and just walking around in the rain videos, but they don't do that well view-wise, so this guy is very slowly making his way across the road. So anyways, I'm out here doing it either way, so I'm gonna keep uploading them. I get people saying these are their favorite videos all the time, so hopefully this will allow me to make more of these salamandering videos because I'm going to be out here doing it almost every night it's possible. Partly because it's an absolute blast and also partly because I feel obligated to help these guys get across the road when they're moving in good numbers. So yeah, over the course of this winter, I'm going to upload some of these. There's 2 big frogs up here and they're going to vary in length, I guess, just depending on how productive the night was. Oh, that's not a frog, but that is. And this is a four-toed. Very nice little guy. And then a peeper. So yeah, this salamandering slash nighttime walking slash frog walking video type will kind of become its own little sub-series here on the channel over the next couple months while amphibians are moving in good numbers. And it doesn't look like there's anything on this stretch, which is kind of weird, so probably gonna cut till I start getting into stuff again. All right, there's another big 2-line salamander. Another big boy. Look at those cirri. Very nice. Really good looking salamanders as always. This guy's got a really clean line of dots down his back. Very vibrant yellow tail. Really nice. All right, we got a couple coming up. This one is a little spotted. Very tiny, actually. Way smaller than most of the ones we've been seeing. Don't know if he's just a runt or if he came from a much later litter than the other ones. Either way, kind of weird. There's a couple more up here. Let's see what this guy is. This is a frog. Looks like a big 2-line. That is a nice looking chorus frog. And this guy is a big 2-line. No cirri on that one, so that could be a big female. Really nice looking salamander. Tonight has been a very good example of how stuff out here seems to move in waves. There's another 2-line salamander. This one is another boy. See, he's got those dangling cirri. That's like, I think, the 3rd or 4th 2-line salamander in like the last 10 minutes, and we hadn't seen any prior to these tonight. There are a couple more things up ahead, so I'm going to move this guy real quick and we'll go see what they are. All right, now That looks like a big marbled, maybe. Maybe hear a peeper going off. Yep, it's a big lumbering marbled salamander. Very nice. What's up, dude? Dudette. If these things weren't so common, they would be one of the more highly rated salamanders in the US, I think. And they're still pretty highly rated, even as common as they are. Beautiful. Oh, oh. Well, that's kind of out of place. The only cricket frog we've seen here on the, really on this road in a couple months. I know we saw a really cool one here in the springtime with Graham, but despite how common they can be, they don't seem to be very common on the road here. There used to be a lot of them at the pond, but really there haven't been that many now. We get a lot calling down there during the summertime, but he is looking like he's getting ready to rock it, so I'm gonna get him off the road real quick. All right, guys, well, I'm thinking about calling it. It seems to have slowed down a little bit. The rain has definitely let up, and I think I'm gonna go walk around the pond real quick and see if I see anything down there, and then maybe call it a night. It's 2 a.m. at this point, and I've been down here on and off since about really right after it got dark, so been at it for a while. And I have to get up tomorrow and get ready to head out for the weekend, so. Driveway coming in clutch. That is a driveway spotted salamander. Very nice. Pretty little guy. Well, it seems to be pretty dead down here by the pond. I saw one bullfrog, I guess, and that was about it. And he dipped into the water before I could get a video, so. It's really low right now, so it's not the best for shining. Hopefully we get a lot of rain over the next couple weeks to bring this water level up. But yeah, probably gonna wrap this one up here. Let me know if you like the idea of doing more salamandering and rain walk videos as their own separate type of upload. Hopefully that'll allow me to actually upload more videos over the course of the year, and it'll keep the more snake-focused videos a little more engaging, because I know not everyone's interested in seeing little brown salamanders for 30 to 45 minutes straight. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna wrap this up here, and I will see you guys in the next episode, probably coming from a couple hours south of here.